Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining the Diamond Perri Show. I am Diamond Perri, your host and creator. As I stated the other day, I am working at recording more relaxed shows and more informal shows and not so formal. So I'm actually out taking a walk and recording as I'm out taking a walk and exercising. It gives me a chance to be able to connect with my listeners on a more natural level instead of being so formal, you know. Sometimes a plant show is fine, and sometimes I think it's good to be able to just speak and think and talk and reflect naturally without things being so planned and so formal. So anyway, I am out taking a walk and I'm exercising, which is something that I do every day between the hours of 5 and 9 a.m. I do live in Atlanta, Georgia, and it is very, very hot out here. So if you walk and you exercises, those are the hours, if you walk and you exercise, those are the safest hours to do so because it is so hot. The summers here are treacherous to me. So usually by 10 o'clock in the morning, the heat is ferocious and I absolutely cannot stand it. So I get out and do my walk or take my jog very early. And actually the sun is peekabooing out now and it's getting ready to get hot. So I am out enjoying what air I can enjoy and getting my day started. I've already done my prayer and meditation, and sometimes I listen to online prayers, or I'm on lives of pastors who do their live prayer in the morning. There's two particular pastors that I listen to. One that I'm really, really fond of is Pastor Keon. I'm sure everybody is familiar with Pastor Keon. Keon Henderson. He is so wonderful. His messages are great, the way that he connects with everyone during his lives. And I've been in on the live revivals on YouTube. I've never actually been to his congregation, so I do want to fly out to Houston, to go and be a part of his greatness and everything he has going on out there. So anywho, there's a few other pastors that I listen to, but he's the main one. He has a lot of good content on his TV channel on YouTube. He has a YouTube channel, so excuse me for being a little out of breath because I am jogging at this point now. So I'm very healthy, work out a lot, but in Georgia, there's a lot of hills, and when you have to go up those hills are tough. So when I come to a sitting point here soon, sometimes I like to go to the gym and work out, or either I work out at home as well. So either way, as long as I get some sort of workout. But the walk and the jog, I got to have that. Whew, so I am sitting for a moment here. Right now, I'm in a period of my life where I'm in spiritual isolation. So God is dealing with me on a lot of things, showing me a lot of things, showing me things that He wants me to do. People that He wants in my life, people that He does not want in my life, places, and things. So people, places, and things or very, very big when it comes to, appropriation in your life, when it comes to you reaching goals and things that you're working on, those things are very, very important. So you have to pay attention to those things. You have to pay attention to where you are, not just geographically, but in life. And where does God want you to be? Geographically, like, where does he want you to be? Who does he want you to be around? Who does he want in your life? Who does he not want in your life? And a lot of times we already know these things. We know who he wants in our life. We know who he does not want in our life. We know who's supposed to be there and who's not supposed to be there. We know when it's time to cut a person off and when it's not. Have you ever met someone and initially, whether it be someone that you're interested in dating or you just met someone as a friend or acquaintance, have you ever met someone and said right off, no, this isn't gonna work, but you continue to associate yourself with that person, or you continue, to deal with that person for a while, but then after a little bit, you seen, that it didn't work out or something happened and you had to end that relationship or cut that relationship off. So basically, most of us have discernment. Most of us have intuition. We all have an intuition, whether we listen or not. That's a whole nother story. But we all have that little voice in the back of our head that tells us, hey, this isn't going to work and this isn't good, for us. But it's when you go back and you second guess yourself that you make the mistake. And that's when you make the mistake of allowing someone to be in your life for too long period of time, or just allowing someone to be there that shouldn't be there. And what happens is when we do that, we set ourselves back in time, and we actually set ourselves back from whatever it is that we're trying to obtain, or whatever it is that God has for us. We set ourselves back. So you have to pay close attention to where you are actually meeting people at, where you're meeting people at, but the type of people that you are meeting. You have to do something different in your life in order to get different results. So if you're working towards something different than what you have now, or you're trying to get to a place in your life that you've never been before, or obviously you're not there, then the number one most important thing that you need to do is to change the people that are around you, change your atmosphere, change your environment. Just change the type of people that you associate yourself with. You have to make some major changes. And a lot of times people are afraid to change because of what? Comfortability, time spent. I spoke with someone one time and I was giving them advice about letting a person go in their life that they had been friends with for many years. And, she said, well, we've been friends since childhood. We've been friends for a long time. But she's doing X, Y, and Z. She's done this and she's done that. Basically, she's doing, things. She was doing things that she shouldn't have been doing. She was doing things to let this person know, hey, I don't really care for you anymore. I'm not your friend. Just because you were friends with someone at childhood, it does not mean that is still your friend at adulthood. I have been friends with people during my childhood, during my teenage years, that are not my friends anymore. Now, I might still have a care in my heart for that person, but that is not my friend. A lot of times we outgrow people. Not a lot of times, we outgrow people. Anyone that you were friends with in your childhood, once you become an adult, things change. We get families, we get married, we establish careers, we grow in life. So it's okay to be cool with someone that you grew up with, but 9 times out of 10, a childhood friend, you're not still going to be friends. And even if you are, you're not still going to be in proximity with that person. You can still call that person your friend, but you guys have outgrown each other. I bet you are not seeing each other every single day like you were in childhood. And very rarely, are people still friends from childhood to adulthood. And you might get that once in a while. I'm not saying that it is not feasible, that it can't happen, but a lot of times it doesn't last. So very few relationships last from childhood to adulthood, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But you as a person, when you do realize that you've outgrown a person, you have to be willing to shut that door and not look back. And it doesn't mean that you hate that person. When you close doors, it does not mean that you're being funny or, you think you're better or you have outgrown that person. In order to grow in life, you have to move on. You have to move to the next chapter, because guess what? You are going to meet other people who pertain to that purpose in your life that you have. You're going to meet other people whom are in that next chapter, whom are in chapter 4, whom are in chapter 5. When you get to chapter 6, there's possibly going to be other people, new people that are in your life that you need in your life in order to obtain that next chapter, or wherever it is that you go. So it's not a bad thing. There's people that I don't even talk to anymore that were in my last chapter of life. Well, I'm growing and I'm pursuing something larger, way larger than me, larger than anything that I've had, that I've worked for, anything that I've came from. So I have to make changes in my life. No matter how uncomfortable that feels. Change is very uncomfortable, but success is uncomfortable. So if you want success, if you want to obtain success in your life, hey, get ready to be uncomfortable. It's an uncomfortable feeling. It's hard. It is hard. This is one of the hardest things. This is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. I'm still reaching. I'm still going. I'm rising, but I feel that I'm almost where I need to go. God has given me the tools that I need to go to my next chapter and grow, and it doesn't stop there. The great big blessing, the great big thing that I am about to receive, or that I am receiving, it doesn't stop there. There's more after that. But I have to continue to allow God to work in my life, and as well I have to grow. So along the way, there's lessons to be learned, but there's doors to be shut and there's others to be open. And if you spend your time looking behind you, trying to figure out, hey, what did I do in the last chapter? Oh my God, what did I do wrong? I'm here in my life. I'm not where I want to be. You will not get where you need to be. You won't get where you're going. Stop looking behind you and turn around and look ahead, because anything that happened in your past, the only thing that you can do, I'm not going to say you can't do anything about it to change it, because you can change the outcome of your next steps coming before you. You can change the way you walk into your next story. You can change the way you walk into your next chapter. But things that have happened in your past are in your past, so you cannot change those things. You also need to learn to be a forgiving soul. You need to learn to forgive those who have hurt you in your past. That has a lot to do with your growth. If you're not willing to forgive someone that hurt you and move on, then you're not going to be able to move on. And if you can't move on, you won't grow. Now, if you can't grow in life, how do you become successful? How do you obtain those life goals that you're working towards? You won't. You'll actually be stuck in a place of stiffness. Like you'll be stuck. Your life will become stagnant. You won't grow. So you can't hold on to things. You can't, hold on to hurt and pain. Everybody heals at different times. everyone deals with things at different times.